Hi, I had the opportunity to watch you as a council person, to watch you to ascend to the elevation of mayor. But what strikes me is that on December 1st, 2021, when you were announced as the 61st mayor of Atlanta, in your speech, you talked about the fact that you're an engineer and that you draw circles and not lines. What does that really mean to you, and how does it encompass your whole vision of moving Atlanta forward?
Yeah, it's a place in my heart, really, where that comes from, is drawing circles and not lines. I was telling folks that I'm an engineer. I can draw squares, I can draw triangles, I can draw lines, but I choose to draw circles. And the choice is about bringing people in, to unify people, to overcome divides. Yeah. Lines immediately say, are you on this side of that line or that side of that line? And I've been, growing up in Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure we'll get to some of these kind of growing up questions, my affinity for housing, but, Atlanta's been a tale of two cities even 50 years ago and beyond. When I was born, I wanted to be included in some things, but couldn't because of financial differences between me and others in my communities around Atlanta. And so there was places in the city where you dared not go, even though they were public streets or public spaces. There were people that were distinctively different from you, and they made sure that you felt it and knew it. And so for me now, as an adult that carries the mantle of being the mayor, I say, I'm going to draw circles. I'm going to bring everybody together. We're going to solve problems together. We're not going to say this side of town gets this and that side of town gets that. And then once I became a city council member, I was an at-large city council member. And what became funny was, I had grown in my career at Georgia Tech and, became an engineer and had my own business. So the money part kind of went away. So I had enough money to do just about everything I wanted to do. So then the challenge now became how do you give others this liberty, give others this agency to do this same drawing circles. And so it used to be folks on the south side would say, Buckhead get everything. Yeah, y'all don't pay my road, Buckhead road gets paid. That's the ongoing mantra. And then, but when you're a citywide public official, everywhere you go, people are saying, they got that on the south side. Like Buckhead folks will tell you somebody got something on the south side. East side folks will say somebody got something on the west side. West side folks talk about the east side. I said, well, everywhere somebody is, they just complaining. Everybody complains. I learned that. So I get it now. So everybody's gonna complain about if I'm here at Atlanta House and I'm gonna get text messages from 30 other cabinet members like, why you ain't come to the Department of XYZ this week? I'm at Mays High School, Douglas High School. Folks like, why you ain't come to see my high school? I mean, it's just what it is. Everybody's complaining. So I just started drawing circles. Like, I'm gonna go everywhere. I'm gonna hug on everybody. I'm gonna love on everybody. Everybody's gonna feel heard. Everybody's gonna feel seen. Everybody's gonna be included. We're all gonna get to this goal of one safe city, this city that's, full of vibrant, safe, healthy, connected neighborhoods. We're going to get you all there. We're going to get everybody there, but it's going to take all of us.
Yeah. So, Mayor, you have always been accessible. And it's interesting when you say that you're going to hug everybody, because you really hug everybody.
Yeah.
But what strikes me is that you've been very intentional about making sure you understand the needs of our residents, the day-to-day needs of our residents, while keeping focus on the long-term vision of what the city needs to look like. Mm-hmm. How do you do it?
I told the cabinet my very first day as the mayor, the very first cabinet meeting, I said, my currency is trust and energy. Those are my currencies. Now, you trust that I'm going to do everything I say I'm going to do. I am literally trustworthy. I have a tremendous amount of integrity based on a number of factors, from religion to family to just good ethics. You can trust me that if I say this is the direction we're going and this is what I'm going to do, we can trust that. And I exchange that trust with you. I trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. I trust that this organization is going to do what it says it's going to do. So once we got trust that's our currency, that's bona fide, that's structured. And then the other currency is energy. I have the energy to do everything.
Yes, Lord.
I'm blessed. Yes. I am blessed that I can wake up and go all day to do all the things that's necessary 8 days a week, 8 days a week, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm structured, mentally, physically, spiritually, to be able to do these things, and I'm blessed by that. I'm grateful that I am, because I've set a large agenda.
And so when I think about the goal that you set for the city with affordable housing, 20,000 units, they've heard me talk about urgency, but they also have heard me talk about the fact that we're in a generational moment of doing this and getting it right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about our progress to date, and what more should we be doing, especially at Atlanta Housing?
Yeah, thanks for asking the tough ones. Like, this is the type of leadership that I have right here, that literally Terri Lee is essentially asking me, and I hope this is what you're asking me, because this is how I'm going to interpret what you're asking me.
Mayor, you are always right. You're always right.
You are asking me to give my evaluation of your performance and the performance of this organization.
Absolutely.
Literally towards one of the most significant goals that I've ever publicly stated.
Yes, sir.
I've publicly stated that I want to have 20,000 units of affordable housing built or preserved by 2030. Starting in 2022 to 2030 is an 8-year span. To really set that big of a goal, the only way you're going to get there is through collaboration, partnership, and urgency.
Yeah.
And to really push. When I told you that I got both hands in your back, I am pushing you.
Yeah.
You should feel me every day. Whether I am with you or not, you should know that the mayor of Atlanta's hands are in your back, pushing you.
And I feel that every day.
Yeah.
I feel that every day.
She was there, the board was there, a few others were there. And I said, my mentality about this organization is, you should know that I am pushing you all the way, pushing you on your back. You should never have a day where you're standing still, where you're just sitting there like, oh man, this is a cakewalk. Nope. It's because we won't get there without it. So to the evaluation part, I think that, when I look at most of the job of mayor, it's a lot of jobs actually. I was about to narrow it down to something. I started thinking, there's a whole bunch of other stuff too. But a significant part of the job is hiring the right leaders, because you can't be everywhere at the same time. You got to have folks carry out the mission, and to set the right mission that's in line with the people and in line with the future, and in line with some critical things that are right now, and then to pick the right people. I 100% affirm for you right now that I picked the right person to be the CEO of Atlanta Housing, Terri. And though I've known Terri since I walked into City Hall, or near the time that I became a city council person in 2014, and I've known her shortly thereafter, and asked her tons of questions about housing, and her and Dawn Arnold at Invest Atlanta pretty much raised me and taught me 95% of the things that I knew about affordable housing until I became mayor, and they still are there teaching me about it. And but that couldn't be the only factors that I put into who would be the leader of this organization. It's still, we went through a significant evaluation process. So I hire slow and fire faster. For those of you that are department heads or division chiefs or managers, that's how I do it. I don't necessarily know if that's how everybody should do it. I hire slow and I kind of terminate a lot faster than I do. It's best to get rid of a bad decision as quick as possible, or underperformance. But evaluation takes time. And even though I knew a lot about you and I knew how good you were and how much you had taught me, this is one of the most critical pieces of my goals for the city, my agenda. And so we did, we high, low, across the country, folks that, got resumes, 10 pages long, but ultimately, you meet all of the agenda items, the criteria. And now that you've been in the place for a couple of years now, it is bona fide. What you all are doing is on track. It is phenomenal. It's national newsworthy. I think, the federal administration, previous and hopefully current will have taken note of the changes and the significant movements that you made. The speed at which you do things and the care that you do things are admirable, and that all starts with the top. And you made some significant changes in leadership that have all panned out to be the right choice. So good job, Terri Lee. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, they think I'm hard. You about to make me cry.
Hard on the outside, soft on the inside.
You talk about, thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for just not giving it to me. Thank you, because through that process, I don't think you'll ever know how much you grew me as a person. And I'm grateful for that. So thank you. Thank you for that. And I hope y'all are grateful too. Okay. Because the strength of our agency doesn't just rest on me. It literally rests on the work that we all collectively do together. And so I just want to make sure that we all know that. But the mayor often says, and your pastor, Reverend Smith, said that you stole this from him.
What's that?
That affordable house, that love ought to look like something.
Oh yeah. Let me just say that. So my pastor is the one who coined that phrase, that love ought to look like something. So I gave him credit the first time I said it. So I said, hey, Reverend Smith always says love ought to look like something. The second time I said it, I said somebody very smart, a man said this. And the third time I said, it's like I always say, love ought to look like something. By the time I done gave him credit 2 or 3 times,
that's it.
It's mine now.
That's it.
He need to either be mayor or be pastor. But,
but when you think about love, and I've heard you say too that affordable housing is your love language. Why is that? And why is affordable housing so important and such a pivotal part of your administration?
Yeah, I mean, going back to love ought to look like something, housing looks like something.
Yeah.
Like you can see whether you're hitting the goal or not. You can see whether it's of quality, whether it is in the right places, whether it's affordable, how long did it take to get there? Yeah, I mean, like you can really assess housing. And so love needing to look like something, I mean, I'm sure somebody in here loves somebody somewhere. You better show them that you love them, right? Like if somebody just walk around talking about I love them and they let you be a mess, you let them be a mess. You don't show them any kind of gratitude and they don't show you any kind of gratitude. You don't help stretch them and improve them. Then your love ain't really that kind of love that's gonna last long, and it might not even be love. It's just something to do. And so for us, my love language is affordable housing. It's one of my love languages, I would say. So affordable housing is, it takes a lot of work to do. And so sometimes I shoot videos as I'm at a development that we're either cutting a ribbon on or doing a groundbreaking on, and I'll show like, here are all the partners that it takes. Yeah. Like it'll be like 12 partners to make a 200 unit development. It'll be like 8 partners to make a 200 unit development. It's never one. It's never like just Andre built this. No, it's got all these layers of financing, of government, of construction, of community. And I love that. It looks like something. It looks like a bunch of people put in on it to get it done. And it's not easy. And once you get it done, you get to enjoy it for a few minutes. And then I see all the housing developers and all the housing enthusiasts in the corner talking about their other projects. Because we cut the ribbon on this one, and then y'all are huddling like, okay, what about 143 Alabama?
Yes.
All right, so what we got on that? Okay, what about Herndon? Y'all, how the permits coming on Herndon? I see y'all huddling while I'm doing news stories. I see y'all off to the side huddling like, okay, so when are we gonna get that? When is the board going to vote on that?
That's right.
And I just be like, keep on working, y'all. Get it. But it means something. It's a love language because it's a necessity too. Housing is a right. So many of the social ills that we experience in a society comes from lack of housing. diseases, educational challenges, homelessness from, health challenges come from if you don't have a home, a stable home, the educational outcomes of that family or, the economic outcomes. These things are determined by first having stable housing. And the family structure dwells in this place, and that's how memories are made. Our communities are better when people are housed and in stable, safe housing. So, like when I see housing as that place, that institution where, love can be, kind of nurtured and grow. Without housing, it becomes more and more difficult for anybody to believe that you love anything in this city if you allow, if you don't provide for shelter.
But when I think about that, though, and I think about the fact that Atlanta has a mayor named Dre, they grew up in Adamsville. Okay, went to Benjamin Mays.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that. How did you know you wanted to be mayor, growing up in Adamsville?
Yeah.
And attending Benjamin Mays.
Yeah, it was definitely a dream. It was a vision. It was something spiritual. God led it, because nobody in my family had ever gone to college. Nobody in my family was in politics. My mom voted, and she read newspapers. Back then the Journal-Constitution came twice a day. The Journal in the morning, Constitution at night, or vice versa. And she
that was old Atlanta, right?
That was old Atlanta.
Yeah.
And even though she worked for the phone company, Southern Bell back then, very, very, very working class. She was customer service, so picking up the phone all day and servicing people's needs. And that was it. Her and my sister and I, and she made ends meet. She took care of us. The city of Atlanta, I went to Atlanta Public Schools. And then after school, I went to Atlanta Parks and Recreation for everything from baseball, football, basketball, karate. These things were my network. It was my home with my mom, my apartments, and then later she bought a house, which was amazing for her as a single woman to just go out there. You remember, women were only given the ability as single women to buy houses like at the beginning of 1970. So by like 1979, she was buying one. And back then, it wasn't no like put 3% down and all that stuff. You had to put down like 15, 20%. So that means you had to save, and you got these, got a little daughter and a son that always want stuff. We wanted the, big wheel and and all those things, But she had to save enough money to get us out of the apartments we were in and into the house. Still in the Adamsville. We went from apartments in Adamsville to a house in Adamsville. Wow. My grandma was in Adamsville. My aunts, everybody was in Adamsville. Nobody was in politics. So it wasn't like I was driven by political aims. It was just, I kept going. When I go into school and then also in Parks and Rec and other places, it would be pictures on the wall. It'd be the president, it'd be the governor, and then it'd be the mayor as you're walking in and out of these buildings. And there was two white dudes in a suit and a black dude in a suit. Mm. And the black dude in the suit, early on, it was Maynard Jackson, and then later it was Andrew Young. So I was like, man, and I see him on TV, current affairs, stuff in social studies and events like that. I'm talking about these guys or learning about them. And then there's civil rights leaders, so all that stuff made me be like, I want to be like the black dude in the suit. Yeah. Right? So representation matters, right? Yeah. So literally, I wanted to be like the black dude in the suit. And the pictures I'm like, as I'm like going down the hall in my mind, I'm seeing this picture today from back then, like the pictures on the wall. And I'm like, there he is. And I met him in the grocery store, my mom said, when I was like 12. Grocery store or something. And shook Andrew Young's hand. And it's like, wow, that's awesome. My mom said I told her then I wanted to be mayor, but I didn't remember that. That was just talk. When I was 16, I bona fide said, that's the job I want to do. I want to be the mayor. When I was 16, I told her, I told everybody, I told my friends, I told everybody. That was my goal. And so everywhere I would go, I would say I'm going to be the mayor of Atlanta one day. I told Shirley Franklin's son, Cabral Franklin, and I played basketball and stuff like that in high school together. And one day I'm at their house, and she worked for Andrew Young. And I said, I know what I want to be when I grow up, Miss Franklin. I want to be mayor of Atlanta. And she did like mothers do. She's like, Andre, you're a smart young man. You can do anything you put your mind to. That's right. So I didn't know she was going to become mayor. She became mayor like 10 years later, and I had to wait a while. And yeah, my dream was real, and it was but I didn't have a whole lot of family money, so we went on. I went to college and did what I knew was a sure shot, because my counselor was like, "You can't be mayor, right now. Go to college, finish up." So I did engineering, was able to be successful thereafter, and then I was like, go back to your dream. So I ran for city council, won, ran for mayor, and won. That's it. It is nonstop. I mean, I did not know this part of the job. I didn't know this part of the job until I got the job. Like, I knew City Hall by being in City Hall, being a city council member. I can tell you budget, I can tell you departments, I could tell you all these things. I knew those things by being in government. And then I got a master's in public administration from Georgia State right up the street. So I learned a lot about government. But I had no idea that people want the mayor all the time.
Yeah.
No idea. I mean, like, literally, I can tell you that is the most shocking part of this job.
Yeah.
That we got all these institutions of higher learning. They all got a graduation. They all got a homecoming. They all got a major fundraiser. We got 1,000 churches that all turn 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 75 years, 77 years, just for the heck of it. They all want you there. Yeah. You got them, all the elementary schools. They all got. I remember I made a mistake. I went and read to the 3rd grade class.
Oh, you got to read all of them.
You got to read all of them?
Yeah, you got to read all of them.
By the time I got back in the truck, I was being cussed out on Facebook by a classmate of mine in high school who was a 5th grade teacher. Like, you ain't even come down my hall. Dre done changed. Told me a new one on the internet. And I hadn't even got to 285 yet. Like, I was in the SWATs getting cussed out by I'm like, oh no, we ain't never reading the one class again. Everywhere I'm at, I'm not somewhere else, right? So if I'm at this place, everybody there is congratulating, they taking 1,000 pictures, they talking about it, and then there's a bunch of other people that's upset. Now, going to your particular question. Get that off my chest.
You had to get it off your chest.
Everywhere. I mean, I just did not. I mean, every business owner, they got a grand opening, a 3rd anniversary, a 5th anniversary. They got something going on. They all want you there. And it'd be like, okay, like this morning, I literally got a crown changed in my mouth that's been in my mouth since I was a teenager. It was this metal, and Dennis was like, it's time to change that. So my smile may be a little half crooked, so shoot all my pictures, turn them a little sideways. But I literally left the dentist, went home, changed, and came here.
Wow,
the day don't stop. I mean, like, I got about six other events. These people come to me everywhere I'm at. Yeah. Everywhere I'm at. They hug, they say hi, they say they love what we're doing, and it's a congratulations mixed with, but let me tell you something. It's always like that. They themselves need something, their family member needs something, they got a great idea, everybody got 2 business cards, they job and they nonprofit. Everybody in Atlanta got 2 business cards, they work for this company and they got a nonprofit that they executive director of or some board member of, and they all want me to come to their event. Yeah. And in these cases though, it is immediate when somebody talks to me about housing. Mm-hmm. It is immediate. Yes. It is no longer a pass it off to somebody or I'll get back to you. This lady was in CVS and she, the way she was like, this is my lucky day. She was like, I saw her follow me because I was I was looking for cough medicine. And you know how when you're sick, you just like can't even see. It's like I'm trying to figure out what stuff I like and don't like. And so I'm doing a lot on this thing, and then she just like tapped me and she's just like, I just need your help. I need your help. And I have nowhere else to go, and I kind of like, it's like, all right, let's get help right now. Yeah. So when that happens, you have to go into a very immediate place of response and support and help. That's why homelessness and domestic violence and mental health and all these experiences that people have are very real to me, that I have to be in the place of supplying some need and solving their issues. And that's the whole point of this organization. If we ain't housing people in Atlanta, take the sign down.
That's right.
Take the sign down.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Atlanta housing. If you ain't housing people in Atlanta, then please take the sign down. They go for churches too. If you such a church of anything, take the sign down when people come and ask you for some help. If you ain't gonna help them, you ain't doing it in God's name. If you ain't helping folks, so take you take the sign down too. Like literally, we need to all do what the signs say. We need no false advertisement from now on. And then somewhere around the end of 22, I said we really got to be the best place to raise a child. And it's not just having a child. The conditions that you make this the best place to raise a child work to be the best place to have a job, to be a family member, to have a business. Because what a child needs is safety. A child needs recreation. A child needs opportunity. A child needs to be able to have a job one day, to have an ecosystem that continues to foster economic development. A child needs healthcare provisions to be provided for them. Same thing for adults. Everybody in this room needs that. And so I said, but if we take it down to the level of childhood, then we will be sure to do it. Most people care a lot about kids. And so if we make it the best place to raise a child, we will all focus on that. And then the by and by of that, we all will be better. Yeah. And so the raising the child means I had to take it all the way back to early childhood education. Far too many kids with disparate incomes were showing up at APS and kindergarten having, already kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher can say, these kids are different. Yeah. These kids have been educated earlier on. They went to pre-K, they went to preschool. And these kids sat in front of the TV at grandma's house. Yeah. Grandma fed them. Grandma kept them dry and Pampers changed. Grandma kept them safe. But grandma don't have no pedagogy. You don't have no understanding of, all these things that you will learn. No, grandma might pull out some document and let you scrabble over it, but it's not rooted in any kind of educational pathway. So you're getting 3,000 less words per day or something like that in grandma's house than you are at an academic institution. So now we have invested in 60 different early childhood education centers in Atlanta, bringing them up the coast. And that means that in low-income neighborhoods, they had the child care center that was somewhat affordable, but they had dirty mattresses, or the refrigerator was only, wasn't getting it food right, or whatever it was. There was all these elements, or the playground was horrible. And so we started investing in this because early childhood education matters, and then childhood education matters inside of a school system. And so the Year of the Youth came out of that. So we made 2023 the Year of the Youth. We made 2024 the Year of the Youth because 2023 went so well. Now APS has the highest graduation rate in the history of APS, working together. And it's not lost on me that a number of those kids are Atlanta housing residents.
That's right.
Right? And because we did this as a group project, I know your after school programs. I understand your scholarship programs that you provide for these kids that reach graduation. So every kid in Atlanta that applied for a college scholarship got one from the mayor's office last year. $4,000. We raised that much money, and you all provided scholarships and continue to support these youth. And so it looks like an ecosystem. It looks like the group project, everybody working together. And so to make this the best place to raise a child, it's been it's my North Star. And, when all stars are aligned, it's a safe place for these children. We haven't had this year alone, knock on wood, nobody under 16 years old has, met their fate at the hand of a gun or a homicide or murder or stabbing. Like, we are alive this year. And we keep going. We're going to make it safe. We're going to make sure. And 5,700 young people last year had a job during the summer, making an average of $17 an hour. 5,700. Our summer youth employment program is very real. When I got the ball as mayor, these were in like 1,800 kids, which is still a lot. 1,800 were getting jobs. But we upped it up to 3,000 in 2022, 5,000 in 2023,
Wow.
5,700 in 2024, and wherever it's going to take us this summer, it should be there or higher. That's a lot of young people getting work experience,
Yeah.
being busy and not, doing stuff that you don't want them to do. And that work experience means that they're going to get mentorship and have somebody that worked in those offices. They want to be a lawyer, they can work in a law firm, they can work in the city's law department, work in Atlanta Housing's law department. For all I care, they're going to have an adult that when times get hard, they can be like, this summer, I've got to remember old Joe, old Dre, or whoever it is. I'm going to call them and say, hey, times are a little tough. I don't know what to do in this situation. They got somebody to talk to.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.